Okay, so in this video clip, we're going to go through how we introduce pandas into Google Colab. We can always do a pip install in Google Colab, which is a Python notebook. Turns out, of course, that's not necessary. Pandas is available in Google Colab. We just have to execute this command, and that activates then the pandas library. Pandas is a Python package. It's for data manipulation, somewhat akin to SQL. The big advantage with pandas, perhaps over SQL, is that it allows a closer integration with packages like matplotlib and Seaborn, which are graphing packages, and for machine learning like sklearn. The data sets, just to illustrate a little bit some of the capability of the pandas, we'll use the iris data set. If you're not familiar with that, you might take a look here at this machine learning repository. The iris data set, we can see here what the constituents of the data set are. There's 150 rows, and we have a number of columns relating to the dimensions of the flower. So the sepal length in centimeters, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and then we have three classes for the iris family here. And if you're not familiar with the sepal and you don't distinguish it or can't distinguish it from the petal, you might take a look here. There's a graph. The sepal here is the lower foliage, and the petal is the higher foliage in the flower. So the sepal is down here and the petal is up here. Okay, so okay, let's go back into the Colab. We're going to use the iris data set and to bring it into this Python notebook, Google Colab notebook. We'll import it in from Seaborn, which is, again, it's a graphing package. And then we're going to take a look at we can take a look initially here at the first 5 rows of the data set. And then if we wanted to expand that out to a higher number of rows, we can redefine here in between the parentheses the 30, and then we get 30 observations. Okay, now we might like to get some. Now, one of the great advantages of using pandas, we can perform simple commands, like we perhaps would like to know the different type of flowers and how many different types of flowers are there in the iris family. So it would appear here there's 50 of each. Perhaps we'd like to get the mean of each of the, when we look at the sepal length, the sepal width, petal length, petal width. We might like to get the averages. Again, there's a simple pandas command for that. We might want to get the median value, not so different from the average, small differences. And if we wanted to write it out, if let's say we do have some data here, and we want to write it out. So let's say we've loaded in a data set from a package in Python, and we want to write it out as a CSV file. Then this pandas command iris to CSV, and then name the file, and then that should appear here in our content folder. And if I come down here, you'll see the content folder now has that CSV file. That wouldn't have been there before. So if I delete that out for a moment, if we just delete that file, and then we execute this command, we'll see in a moment then in the content folder, the iris.csv applies. You can download that file, take a look at it. It's not going to be so large, so should be relatively easy to obtain that. We can bring it up in our downloads for a moment, downloads, and you can see it's here. So just to take a look at that, and you can see we've the sepal length, width, petal length, petal width, and then the species. And then we have the 3 classes. Okay, and there's 150 rows. Okay, so that's our data set then. Going back then into our Google Colab, we might want more information related to the data set. We might want to see if there's any missing data. We could use this command here. Are there any empty cells or missing data, and just sum up the instances of missing data. But all the cells, all the data, all the columns or rows here in this vector are populated. And then if we wanted some descriptive statistics, again, a simple describe. So the data set, the name of the data set, and then just describe, we get our descriptive statistics. So we get the count, the mean, standard deviation. And we can pull out using group by, we can pull out, so related to each species, the 3 different classes of flower in the iris family. Then we can just get a count of how many of each. Okay, so sometimes that actually can be very powerful in understanding what's in our data set. And then we can use, again, another very powerful graphing command in the Seaborn package is pair plot. And what we get here is just a series of scatter graphs, and then we get the distribution of the sepal width, the sepal length, and so on. So for instance, if we come down here for a moment, let's just take a look at this. We have in our graph, we have the scatter. So if you like, the petal width compared against the sepal length, and then the sepal width compared against the petal width, and the petal length compared against the petal width, and then we get that distribution. And it would appear fairly clearly that the Setosa are quite distinct from the other flowers in terms of their dimensions, right? Tend to be lower petal length, lower sepal length somewhat, and then the petal width can be higher, petal length a bit lower, petal width a bit lower. So some of the features, some of these dimensions here would suggest that we could characterize or classify each of the different classes of the iris family and describe them in terms of the sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. And that's what we would do in a machine learning type exercise, is try to figure out, using the different battery of machine learning techniques, how we would identify, how we would cut through and distinguish each of the different classes. And that's a classification problem we typically deal with. Pandas is powerful. Why? It's a data manipulation tool. There's a huge amount of commands. I'll leave a link below where I explore a little bit more deeply. So below the video, I'll leave a link to where I explore the vocabulary, the grammar of pandas, a lot more. You might follow that link. And there's a huge amount of commands. So it's very comprehensive. And it integrates, the big plus is it integrates then with the other Python libraries for graphing and Python libraries for machine learning, right? So it links up extremely well. And that's why pandas is increasingly contributing to the popularity of Python. So one of the reasons why Python in recent years has become such a common, popular programming language also relates back to the extent to which pandas is used in the data science field. Okay, let's leave it there.